back to the local view. After having gone through a decade of hell, which included 10 years of physical and emotional trauma, a slew of accidents, personal losses, and the strength to still run a successful business, our next guest refused to succumb to her bad luck and decided to become a resiliency ninja and write a book about it. Welcome to the show, Allison Graham.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So you said that you had 10 years of physical and emotional trauma that was persistent and unforgiving.
It really was. So what happened was I had a surgery that was a very simple surgery, and it went terribly wrong and caused relentless neuropathic damage. There were subsequent surgeries, there were 5 total, and then the second one went wrong, and I ended up going through what I call the decade of hell. That was really the beginning. And then what happens, and any of your viewers who have ever had chronic pain know that it's not just the pain. Yes, you have to deal with the physical piece of it, but then you're becoming isolated because you have to let go of a lot of your social life. So then you become a little bit lonely, and then you deal with the mental health issues and the depression and everything, and then the financial turmoil that comes with that. And I really wanted to share that story in this book and make it very raw and open that conversation for people.
And how did you find the courage to pull yourself out of that?
Well, a part of it was because I had no choice. So at one point, the doctors had talked to me about considering going on disability and giving up my business. And I loved my business. I loved getting to speak for audiences at conferences. And for the first 10 years of my business, I focused solely on how do you network and how do you do sales. So helping people with that. And I didn't want to give that up. And so what I noticed is, and you've probably felt this as well in your life, that there's a real collision between who we are personally and how we show up professionally. And so as I was working with clients and saying, okay, you've got to get out there and network and grow your sales, and they're like, but my life is falling apart.
We've all been there.
We all have. And so that's why I brought this book to life, because I really wanted people to, not feel as alone in their struggles. So if they're going through adversity, to know that there is no shame in that, and that there are solutions. There's always a solution. We can't make what happened go away, but we can find new ways to still continue to succeed, even though we've had these challenges in our life.
And how have you become a different person throughout those challenges?
Well, it was definitely, I believe, I've become stronger, and I think most people would say that whenever they've gone through adversity, they come out the other side being more able and resilient, like just able to bounce back faster, because you kind of get used to bouncing back. But I think the most important piece that came out of this journey was my self-awareness and my ability to emotionally be able to process information faster. Because I don't know if you've ever done this, like something goes wrong and then you loop about it forever, right? Like it's like on and on and on.
You're talking about me.
Well, so many of us can relate, but when do we ever have these conversations? And so I really wanted to open that conversation so that and share how I was able to get a hold of that and process disappointments and hurt and grief and forgiveness faster, so that I could move forward faster, be a resiliency ninja. Gotta do the fa-cha to go with it.
Well, this leads me to my next question.
Okay.
What is a resiliency ninja?
Oh, a resiliency ninja. You know, when I came up with that term, I was imagining like the Hollywood movie, right? With the ninja in the background, sort of like coming out, taking care of business and then going back into the shadows. And
that's right.
Feeling very resourceful, very, having the tools at their disposal, being masterfully trained on.
I like that word.
Thank you. Yes. And it really is. So throughout the book, what I do, so it's not just about my story and the decade of hell. We pull the lessons that I learned and then I put it into a formula, the Resiliency Ninja formula, and share that with people so that they too can become more resilient.
And so why did you decide to title your book, Married My Mom, Birthed a Dog, How to Be Resilient When Life Sucks?
Well, okay, let's look at first the title and then the subtitle. So, married my mom. When the doctors had talked to me about going on disability, I really had to look at, okay, I'm not going to do that. So what are the pieces of my life that are not working, and how can I become resourceful around those? So one of the big hurdles for me was I live 2 hours away from most of my clients. And I couldn't, back then, I wasn't able to drive that distance without severe pain. And then, of course, the doctors were like, you really shouldn't be driving. It's not good. So my mom actually gave up her life back home. My dad had died a couple years before, and she moved in with me and really became my rock, my significant other, my person who knew everything that was happening and was there for all the surgeries, all of the injuries, all of the deaths. And so she really, and it's funny because we started to have these conversations, and my friends would be talking to their husbands on the phone, like, who's grabbing dinner tonight, and what are we doing on the weekend? And I'd be grabbing the phone and talking to my mom and saying, you know, what's for dinner tonight and what are we doing on the weekend? And that was the Married My Mom. And then Birth the Dog was I found my dog Winston, who is on the cover of the book, and he really made having to be home for so many hours out of the day healing from the surgeries worthwhile and okay, and he filled that love in my life. So I love him. Yeah, it's very sweet. Now, you asked me about the how to be resilient when life sucks.
Yes.
That came because I believe that most self-help books or personal development books tell you just to be positive, right? Like, oh, you know, bad things are happening, but be positive. And I'm like, yeah, but right now things suck. So I can't be positive. I need to process the information. And so I just wanted, you know, people to know that sometimes life does suck. Like, there are a lot of blessings in life, absolutely. But this is about when things go wrong, how do you bounce back even faster and deal with it?
So where can people get your book?
Anywhere they would like. So choose your favorite retailer and order the book. And I would love to hear your stories. One of the things I've noticed since we've started talking about the book in the media is that people are sending me their stories about resiliency and what they've gone through and their tools and their techniques for really coming through their tough times. And so I'm now encouraging people to go on the Facebook page at Resiliency Ninja and share the stories, and let's all be in this together.
That's Married My Mom, Birth the Dog, How to Be Resilient When Life Sucks. Get your copy now. We'll be right back.